Hey guys, welcome to the Gods Unchained beta with the Professor. Alright, so today we're going to talk about another free-to-play deck. We are going to take a look at the free-to-play Zoo Nature deck that I created. So a little bit of background. When I first started out as a new player and didn't have much cards, I knew that a cheap deck was the way to go, but I also wanted it to be cheap and competitive. And traditionally in card games, Zoo decks by definition are cheap and they can be fairly competitive. So I went to gudex.com and I did a search for zoo decks and I found this zoo deck from about 9 months ago. It hasn't been updated recently, but at the same time, this deck wasn't really free to play friendly just because it had cards from Genesis. And as free to play, it's hard to get these cards currently. So just wanted to mention that this is the inspiration for my free to play deck. It's by Veloth and it's the budget zoo draw, so you can search it up on GU Decks. Veloth did a great write-up on this deck and how to play it. Definitely quite detailed, so when you have the time, you can go ahead and go through and take a look at what they wrote. But back to my free-to-play version, I used the other deck as an inspiration to create this. So some of the keys for this deck is we want cheap minions that will be able to stick on the board or trade well. And we are using some buffs from other creatures to allow for favorable trades and a little bit more damage. And we are combining that with the God Power Forage, which helps us maintain some cards in hand to allow for more options. So I can personally share that this is the deck that I used mainly when I was first starting out to grind out a lot of levels and to open up more core card packs. I did find this deck fairly competitive and it was one of my go-to decks ranking up. All right, so let's take a look at the deck. Let's filter it by nature. Here's our free-to-play deck. Okay, let's filter by owned. All right, so here's our 1-mana creatures. So what you'll see is a lot of them have fairly good stats. They have protection, whether against spells or physical attack. It also spawns another creature, so sort of like a 2-for-1 value here. Offers a little bit of buff. Has potential upside on their war effect. And can do some damage to help control the board. For our 2-mana cards, the theme follows. We have cards with good stats. Overall, just powerful cards like the Vanguard Axewoman. And other cards that help buff our other creatures. Stafford Roots is pretty strong. It allows for a blitz attack, meaning you could use it right away as soon as you equip it. And you could attack twice with it. And it summons a plant that also heals you. And Canopy Barrage is there to help maintain board control and also protect our minions. We don't have any 3-mana cards because again, as a zoo deck, we're trying to keep the curve really low. We do have 2 4-mana cards with the Singsong Satyr. The idea is when turn 4 or maybe 5 comes around, we want at least 2 to 3 creatures on the board that we could buff up with +1 strength. That will allow those creatures to trade or do direct damage. So that's our free-to-play zoo deck. So let's go ahead and play a match with our free-to-play zoo Forage deck. All right, so let's try out this free-to-play zoo nature deck on the ranked match. All right, let's go ahead and choose Forage. We are going first. This is good turn 1, good turn 2. Let's throw back the Singsong Satyr. This is a good one to have board against magic. Marsh Walker. go ahead and use our Staff of Roots. Let's go ahead and bag out our Tribal Orc for the buff. Alright, perfect. We'll use the Archer to get rid of this one, and we'll summon out the Jaguar. Oh, this one will be good for us. We get to draw lots of cards. Alright, our Void is still low. I really want to buy this from the Sanctum to draw some cards. Plant first. Let's go ahead and break his shield. Let's go ahead and take out this Time Bomb. Alright, we have 3 cards in our Void. We could go ahead and, let's see, who do we have here? We could get a Tribal Orc back. So let's go ahead and draw a card. Let's go ahead and power up our Ghoul. Ah, bad for us. Alright, let's go ahead and just, we have 4 cards. Let's Forage. And let's get rid of this time Bomb. Okay, we have 2 cards in our Void. I think we're gonna go, let's see. Definitely want to play the Cardshark. That's 5 minions, 5 minions plus this one. Okay, let's power up this guy. Let's trade that in. Let's put Ward. Okay, I think we'll let's see, 4 with a Forage. Yeah, we're gonna Forage here. So let's do this. Forage. Let's put one more Ward. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of this thing. No, actually we don't need to get rid of it. We'll just go directly now with this guy, Tribal Orc. All right, we definitely want to play the Satyr now. Let's play the Olympic. Well, no, not yet. Let's put the skeleton heavy. Well, how many? We have 3. We don't have. See, that's okay. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're short. So let's go ahead and forge first. We don't want that card. Okay, we can afford this. Okay, I think this is good for us here. Let's go ahead and do 4 damage with Canopy. Get something back. We got it. All right, so that was a great win for us. Usually, Zoo is unfavored against Magic. They just have so much removal. It's hard to get on the board and stay on the board when they're using their spells to take care of your minions. But we were able to pull through and get a victory. So it just goes to show how resilient the free-to-play Zoo Nature deck can be. We faced a couple of Genesis cards there as well, which if we had access to it, we'd throw it into our deck to make our deck a little stronger. So the good thing about Zoo is even though we are using only a free-to-play version, there's a lot of options we could use to sub in and out. Some of these cards are good to substitute in, so we have lots of options here. Zoo definitely affords a lot of flexibility, and it's a fairly competitive budget deck. All right, well, give the deck a try and let me know what you guys think.